So I'm cutting off some of these bullet connectors. They're typically, when they're this old, they get unreliable, they're dirty, they're corroded. The female side of the bullet gets expanded a little bit and it gets loose and the connections aren't good. So I am cutting those off and replacing them with a different style connector called a lever lock. I've used these a lot on motorcycles and various other things, and they work really well. Okay, this is the lever lock. And this is the right turn signal. Red wire is the turn signal. We just slip the red in there, clamp it down. From the wiring harness, the blue wire is going to the right turn signal. These are lever locks. I'm going to show you how they work. You flip the lever up like that. This one will hold 3 wires, and they can be any size. So we put the wire in, after stripping, of course. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Now, what I do is I give them a little tug to make sure they're properly seated in there, and as you can see, you can't pull those out. These are rated to carry 30 amps. So, and also they're rated for wire gauge number 22 up to 12. So these are 20 gauge wires. Now let's say you wanted to connect two 20s to a 12. This one's a 12 gauge. There it is. Okay. Now let's say that I made a mistake. I want to change this and connect it over here. 12 gauge, and the other wire in this circuit is a 14 gauge. Okay, there they are, connected together. 2 wires, 3 wires. And these also come in a 5-wire version. Now let's say we're running a circuit through. Okay, so this will run 3 circuits. These circuits now are going straight through instead of connecting together. So let's say we have a heavy-duty circuit here, 12 gauge wire. That's the largest wire you can put in. And you notice the 3 are color-coded too, which is very handy. On Honda motorcycles, the right-hand turn signal is blue and the left hand is orange. So I use these to connect the turn signals, and the color code on the connector works out nicely. So now I've got a 12 gauge circuit, I've got a 14 gauge circuit, and let's do a 22. 22 gauge circuit. Put the other side of the circuit in, or 20, these are 20 gauge, excuse me. And there we go. Incidentally, I've used this exact connector to connect the stator wires on these vintage Goldwings, and they work great. They work much better than the OEM Molex connectors. They don't overheat, they carry adequate current, it works good. So anyway, there's your introduction to lever locks. These ones, this style here comes in a 2-wire and a 3-wire. So there they are. Great for wiring motorcycles. I've also used them in household wiring. You can put both solid and stranded wire in them. And I guess if you're wondering where to get them, I buy them on Amazon. So there's the bundle of wires in the headlight bucket. This is the connection for the headlight. I'm going to now try to put the headlight in there. The bundle of wires is going to have to get dispersed around the perimeter of the shell a little bit of the bucket, because the connection on the back of the headlight's going to be all the way back in here. So the wires have to be kind of compressed down in this area at the bottom of the bucket like that. Well, here she is, the 1978 Honda Goldwing. I just took it for its maiden voyage. I've gone over the whole bike, restored everything I can restore. I have not put the front fender back on yet because it's a chrome fender and it's somewhat rusty. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. The back fender, is chrome and it's in decent shape. I've got all the lights working. I might have a couple little issues to work out with timing and carb syncing and general tune-up type stuff. So I'll be continuing to work on that. So I static timed the ignition yesterday, I'm not sure it's quite accurate. I'm going to try to do it with the timing light. But it runs good when you get out on the road. It's sitting here idling nicely at just around 1,000 RPM. I spoke too soon. It was idling nicely at around 1,000 RPM. All the gauges seem to be working. So there it is. I'm going to work on some cosmetic issues, try to polish up the rocker covers a little nicer and some things like that. Yeah, but it runs good. I'm pretty excited about it. I put a dual sport tire on it, front and back. It's an 80/20, so I'm hoping that I can explore some dirt roads on it. Some places that I don't go with my 83. But anyway, I'm still missing the side covers. So there's the gas tank exposed. I dressed it up with some stickers, and the battery is exposed. I'm going to need a cover over the battery because the start solenoid and connections for the ignition circuit and charging circuit are all right there, and I need to make sure that's protected from spray should it get caught in the rain. But yeah, I think it's nearly ready for the road. So, well, I think that concludes my series of from behind the barn to back on the road, because I have successfully put this bike back in service. Now, I do have a few details I'm going to work on as I go along, but I'll probably be riding it. I'll probably go get a plate for it on Monday and start riding it. And I think once it's ridden a little bit, I'll run some sea foam through it, run the oil for a couple 100 miles, and then drain it out and put new oil in it and things like that to get it back to fresh. But as far as I'm concerned, I resurrected it from behind a storage shed, and it's now back on the road. Brakes are working, new tires, engine's running good, carbs are rebuilt, new timing belts. It's ready to ride. So as far as I'm concerned. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks, bye. So this is Bob Kramer. Welcome back to my channel, Kramer's Garage. This is a follow-up video for the restoration series on the 1978 Honda Goldwing. If you refer back to the series, it's called 1978 Goldwing, From Behind the Barn to Back on the Road. And so anyway, in this video I just wanted to give you a quick walk around. The bike is finally complete. I've put new tires on it, rebuilt the braking systems, rebuilt the carburetors, new timing belts, gone over the entire electrical system and cleaned and secured all the connections. So there's been a lot of work gone into this. I've recently repainted all the bodywork, and it's painted in a maroon similar to a color that Honda was using in those days. But this particular paint in bright sunlight will take on more of a reddish, a metallic red hue, but in overcast light like we have today, it's more of a maroon. So anyway, it's pretty nice paint. I like it a lot. So we'll do a little walk around here. I've put new turn signals and a new headlight on it. I've also added auxiliary LED lights, which are very helpful when you're out on a dark country road. I put 80/20 tires on it, so it is capable, I'm sure, of going down a dirt road and having adequate traction. The front forks have been rebuilt. I've cleaned up the aluminum. I didn't get a high polish on it, but I at least got it to a nice satin finish. Same on the timing belt covers and rocker covers. They're still showing a little patina, but that's okay with me. The exhaust system, I had to build an exhaust system for it. I used headers from a GL 1100 and welded a pipe on and to adapt it to an 1.75 inch, and then put Harley Davidson takeoff mufflers on it, and it runs good, sounds good, and so I'm pretty happy with how the whole project came out. Now, I did take this on a road trip over to the Vintage Motorcycle Festival in Birmingham, Alabama in October, and that was 2 months ago, and that's about an 800-mile round trip. The trip went really well. I had no problems whatsoever with the bike. So let's start it up real quick and see how it sounds. Hopefully it'll start right up for me on the first try. Oh yeah. Gotta turn on the fuel. As you can see, once the choke is pushed all the way in, there's no smoke whatsoever at the exhaust. And she just idles real nice, purrs like a kitten. Not fully warmed up yet. So anyway, you can see on the temperature gauge, we're not anywhere near operating temperature. So of course a carbureted bike will stumble a little bit when it's cold. There it is. If you like my project, give me a thumbs up. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it so much or want to criticize it, please feel free to leave some comments and let me know how I can improve my future videos. And also, if there's a bicycle or motorcycle related topic that you would like to see a video on, please let me know. If I'm able to do it, I will. I've been on two wheels my whole life, between bicycles and motorcycles, and I've also been a lifelong mechanic. So let me know what you'd like to see on my channel. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching.